Hey there, the sun finally came out today. We are going Facebook Live here. Can you see me? Does this seem dark to you? How about now? How about now? Is there any difference in the shade or the contrast? Yeah, probably not. Hey, how's it going? It's On Deck with Wally. We're going to wait for more people to jump in. By the way, the other day I was clapping at some event, whatever. I was like this. And they're like, hey, are you left-handed? I'm like, no, why? Because most right-handed people clap like this, but you were just going like this. I had no idea that there was a right hand or a left hand or a right way or a wrong way to show my applause for somebody. So for that, yay! What about this one when you go like this? I don't know. So it's called On Deck with Wally. So it's featuring me, Facebook Live, here on my deck, which I'm sitting on. Well, actually, I'm sitting on the chair on the deck, just as a point of reference. I just prefer to be accurate, that's all. So we're here on Thursday. We're doing this live every Thursday at the same time at noon. So if you see this later on and you start to write goofy, snotty comments in my comment section, I won't be responding to it because I'm not live. Carol, just so you know. My friend Carol. Love her, but such a nut job. So it's called On Deck with Wally, and it's all about life, love, rock and roll, and real estate. So some of you may or may not know. Some of you may know that I have a history being a disc jockey, an announcer on the radio, and I've been doing this for 30-some-odd years. So I figure, you know what, let's throw a little bit of stuff together, a little bit of real estate together, so everybody's like kind of happy about this whole thing. Because quite honestly, every time I say, I go on here and I do the whole real estate thing, which I want you to know, I want you to understand, people like to know about the real estate stuff, but they're so afraid that I'm going to try to sell them something that they don't want to make a comment. So maybe I should sit out here. Maybe, is that better? Yeah, I think so. So that's what we do. So anyway, so let's get to it. So we do a little bit of real estate. We'll do a little bit of other stuff. And maybe some thoughts that I have at the end here. And I'll try not to make this longer than 3 or 4 hours or 15 minutes, whatever comes sooner. So anyway, so a couple of weeks ago, I want to let you know, a couple of weeks ago, I was with a very special friend. And we were up seeing the Leonard Skinner Band up in Syracuse along with Don Felder. Don Felder used to play with the Eagles. And I thought, you know, it'd be kind of interesting. Let's talk a little bit about the Eagles today. Because I don't know that there's anybody that dislikes the Eagles. That's the band, not the flap ones that fly around. You see them up around, although they're cool too. I mean, the musical Eagles, right? Glenn Frey and Don Henley and those guys. So I wanted to just talk a little bit about this. Because Don Felder was a lead guitarist. Fingers Felder, they called him, for the Eagles for a long time. And he was in the band originally, and then, not originally, but he was in the band and then came back. So I want to kind of talk a little bit about this because it was kind of neat going and seeing him in concert. And they played, he did all the Eagle stuff, plus he did that song, Heavy Metal. I don't know if you remember that in the 80s, early 80s, there was a cartoon movie out called Heavy Metal, and that was the lead part of it, really. I thought Sammy Hagar's version was better, but that's just me. But anyway, so about the Eagles, right? So I had some thoughts on this. Like, how did they start? What happened? Well, the Eagles were formed in 1971. The Eagles, the band, right? It was Glenn Frey and Don Henley, and they had Randy Meisner and Bernie Leadon in the band. Originally, here's something that you may not know. So this could win you a drink, a trivia match in a bar or whatever. So originally, the Eagles, as we know them originally, they were a backup band, believe it or not. Did you know this? Some of you may know this. Not how we know the Eagles now, but Glenn Frey and Don Henley were asked to be in a band, and they were in a backup band. And you know whose backup band they were in? I'll give you 3 seconds to guess. 1, 2, 3. Some of you may know this. They were actually in, and they incorporated, and they got other people in the band. They were actually Linda Ronstadt's backup band. Seriously. And they had no name. They had no name for the band. They had no name. They were just the backup band. So I remember seeing them originally on Don Kirshner's rock concert. Remember that? Welcome to Don Kirshner's rock concert. And I think it was on Channel 9 out of New York or out of New Jersey or something like that. Anyway, yeah, so the Eagles originally, I remember seeing them on Don Kirshner's rock concert, all wearing flannel, right, all out there singing with their long hair and doing that kind of thing. And it was announced that they were just Linda Ronstadt's backup band. And then they came out with Take It Easy. And Take It Easy was co-written by Glenn Frey and Jackson Browne. Jackson Browne, by the way, another famous name, was Glenn Frey's next door neighbor. So they wrote it together. They co-wrote it. So anyway, kind of a neat thing. So yeah, they were actually originally Linda Ronstadt's backup band, and then decided that they were going to go out on their own. And they came up with the name Eagles, or the Eagles. It was, sometimes drugs were actually involved in the making of the names of these bands. I mean, you would think something like Third Eye Blind or, whatever, was Toad the Wet Sprocket was one of those things that was, hey, that had to be a drug-induced name. That's how they came up with the band. The Eagles probably like, yeah, they just saw an Eagle and said, hey, let's call it the Eagles. But actually it was the Eagles who were high on peyote and mezcal that decided in the desert one night, hey, why don't we just call ourselves the Eagles? And Don Henley's like, no, it's Eagle. But it's the Eagles, so you guys probably know that. Anyway, yeah. So the Eagles were out on tour, and they did a whole bunch of shows. They had a whole bunch of hits, and were doing really, really well. And then in about 1980 is when the Eagles broke up. It was very hostile. It started backstage at, I think it was a politician's fundraiser of some sort in California, I think. But eventually that blew out onto stage, and they literally broke up that day, right? So there was no more Eagles. And so we were without them for the longest time. And they were off doing their own projects. Glenn Frey had his deal, and he was an actor and was in Miami Vice. And Don Henley had a bunch of little things in Leather and Lace with Stevie Nicks, and he did a whole bunch of his stuff. And they did their own video separately. Some of the other guys, broke off and did some other things. Eagles, very talented like that. They always said, I guess the question always was, when are the Eagles going to get together again? When are they going to get back together again? And I think it was Don Henley said, when hell freezes over. So guess what? Hell froze over in 1994. Is this getting too long for you guys? Do you like the Eagles? I hope you do. Anyway, so in 1994, they got back together again, and they formed the band, right? And they got, some people back together in the band, and Don Felder was back in the band again. Glenn Frey, who was the crazy guy? Oh, Joe Walsh, right? So now you got two lead guitarists who have different styles and are, Don Felder's kind of straight, kind of like, the fingers Felder, they call them, whatever. And you got Joe Walsh, who just wants to drive his Maserati as fast as he can go and throw TVs out hotel windows. Were in the band. They didn't really get along too well. The big rift between Don Felder and Joe Walsh. And eventually it kind of came to a head when they were signing a contract. And, the guys that really ran the band were Glenn Frey and Don Henley. Don Felder wanted to be one of those guys. He wanted to be the top three. And the top two didn't want that to happen. Joe Walsh certainly didn't want that to happen. Joe Walsh was kind of like a go-along, get-along kind of guy, right? He just, hey, look, I'll sign the contract. Let's just go. And that was what kind of kicked Felder out. But Felder wanted to know what the books were, wanted to know all the finances, wanted to know everything about everything. And a lot of the other guys in the band were like, hey, it's these two guys running the band. You don't need to know. So it was Joe Walsh who said, just sign the damn contract. And Felder's like, nope. And so they kicked Felder out of the band, and that was it for the Eagles. Kind of neat knowing all this stuff. But, so when I was at the show, Don Felder and Leonard Skinner a couple weeks ago, Don Felder did all the Eagles stuff. It was like an Eagles concert with Don Felder, and it was a pretty good show. But just kind of wanted to give you some sort of thought on the whole Eagles, where they started, what happened, what broke them up, kind of the whole mishmash between Don Felder and Joe Walsh. And that's a little rock and roll here for you on this Thursday. It's called On Deck with Wally here from my deck at my house, and hopefully it won't start raining here pretty soon. Some real estate stuff to throw your way real quick is today's interest rate. I don't got that yet. I did ask Erin Thomas Allen from Elmira Savings to send me what the current interest rate was on a 30-year fixed rate. I don't have that, but I'll write that in the comments. And if you guys have a question, write in the comment section or get it back to me. Hey, Tanya and Gary, how are you? Gary, I hope you're doing good, buddy. Kelly, thanks for joining in from wherever you live, Minnesota or Montana or someplace. I forgot. It was one of those M states, right? Martha and Lori, how are you doing? Liz, good to see you. At least your name pop up here. So let me tell you about the market a little bit right now. The market has still been very hot. We have a little bit more housing inventory on the market right now. We have 364 active listings. We had at one point this year or last year like 150 or 200 active listings. So we're up. We're not where we normally are, but we're up a little bit. To give you an idea where some of these listings are. Hey, Karen, how are you? Hey, Cheryl. I just helped sell Cheryl's family estate house. Hey, how are you? Hope you're having a good time in Florida, wherever you are. So here we go. Some of the big three. So just so you know, if you're looking for a house in Binghamton, JC, and UE school districts, that's where most of the inventory is right now. Binghamton, there's 51 houses. Johnson City, there's 28 houses for sale. And UE, there's 43 active listings right now. If you don't really want to be in the urban area, thanks, Erin. Erin just texted me, and the interest rate right now is 5.375 at Elmira Savings Point Bank. 3.7 or 5.375 is the current 30-year fixed rate right now for an interest rate at Elmira Savings Bank. If you guys know of anybody that is looking for to buy a house and you need to hook up with somebody, there would be a great place to go. So if you're looking for a house outside that urban corridor area, I think, I'll give you a little bit of inventory. Here we go. Forks and Shenango Valley school districts combined, there's 29 houses. So if you split them up, there's about 14, 15 houses in each district. Not a lot, but they're there. Hey, Lisa, how are you? Georgia? That cracks me up, Georgia. Hi, how are you? Nice to see you, at least your face online. In the main Endwell School District, there's 13 houses, right? Vestal, there's 40 houses available. I'm not sure why that is. Seems to be kind of heavy in the Vestal School District on active listings. Whitney Point, there's 13 houses that are currently listed for sale. In Windsor, there's 17. Susquehanna Valley, there's 12. I didn't do all the school districts in the area because I just didn't want to run down a whole list of all of them. But those are really the big ones right there. So if you're going to go to Harpersville or Afton or Bainbridge, Guilford, there's probably going to be less inventory there than there is elsewhere, just simply because there's less houses and less people and all that kind of stuff. So there you go. So the market is kind of cooling off a little bit. It's kind of slowing down a little bit. I do want to put this out there, though, by the way. Hey, Kathy, how are you? And Luann, nice to see you. I want to just say this. If you're buying or selling a house right now, if you're involved in that process, please do yourself a favor. Talk to your real estate agent a little bit more about what's going on in the market, because you need to tamp down your expectations a little bit. And here's the reason why. If you're in the middle of your deal right now, if you're selling a house or you're buying a house and you've got the contracts all signed and everything's gone to the attorney, right now your real estate agent is pretty much just there kind of just paddling the canoe. They're not steering it anyway. They're just trying to keep things going as best they can. All this is out of their control. On your contract, on your standard Greater Binghamton Association of Realtors contract, it says your closing date is on or about. See me with the quote marks? On or about. It doesn't mean it's going to happen on that day. In fact, I have never, ever, ever had a closing happen on the day that I've written on the contract. Ever. It says on or about. They try to do that. You try to keep everybody heading towards the right direction. That's why you have dates on everything, such as your closing date. If your loan officer says, hey, we want to close on Friday, that's good. We want to close on Friday. It's up to your attorneys and to the bank attorney to make that. So don't base your move. Don't base, hey, I got to have the moving truck here on Friday because my loan originator or my underwriter said, hey, we're closing on Friday, because it may not happen. It probably won't. Check with your attorneys. Please do so. And it's easier if you send them an email as opposed to calling and expect them to call you back. And they will probably not call you back during the middle of the day anyway, just because everybody's busy working. It's usually easier to send an email and you'll get a quicker response back via email or from the paralegal. Just to let you know, during the summer, I wrote a post on this a week or so ago. People are taking vacations just like you are, right? You're planning a week's vacation to move all your stuff either in or out of your house. So guess what? Attorneys take vacations. They're allowed. Mortgage people, underwriters, they all do. Home inspectors, appraisers, everybody takes vacation time. And if you've got 8 people in this chain of trying to get your house sold or get bought, if any one of them in this chain of stuff to do takes a week's vacation or takes a few days off, it stops the momentum on your deal. I know it's frustrating. I'm sorry. I understand that. Getting mad at your real estate professional is probably not the right course of business, although they are probably the person you could probably readily reach the easiest, right? But if you got a real estate professional that's helping you buy or sell your house, here's what I need you to do. If you can, please talk to them about the process. Say, listen, here's the deal. Here's how we're going to make this thing happen. And I need to know, when am I going to need to schedule that moving truck to get to my house, right? Because every day that your stuff sits on that moving truck because it's got no place to go, it's probably another $200 or $300 worth of storage fees. So really, it's all about the money. It's all about the numbers. Check with your real estate professional, all right? Okay? If you guys got a question, please write it in the comment section or whatever. Just to let you know, by the way, just to do the legal stuff, I am a licensed associate real estate broker for Exit Realty Front and Center. We're located at 1163 Front Street in Binghamton. Our number there is 724-EXIT. I don't know the numbers because I just remember Exit, so it's up to you to dial the number. Or you can just dial my cell phone, which you can find readily anywhere, because hackers were able to do it. If a hacker can do it, then you can certainly do it. 607-725-1446. I got a website. Did you know that? It's called WALLYGetsItDone.com. It's a website, has all my listings, has other people's listings. If you wanted to message me and get my mobile business card, you can certainly do so. You can just text Key Agent to 85377. That's text Key Agent, one word, to 85377. It's all pretty cool, digital stuff. So listen, I wanted to talk a little bit more here, and then I'm going to go about marketing your listing, the right way to market it and the wrong way to market it. So in this day and age, just think about this. And I'm not begrudging anybody doing direct mail or newspaper articles or anything like that. How many people are buying the newspaper these days? Not a lot, right? So if you're expecting your house to be in the newspaper, it's not going to get a lot of looks, just to let you know. And the newspaper has gone from being this thick to you can almost see through it, and from being huge to this, right? So understand this, that the newspaper is not where people are anymore to look for stuff. Let's face it, if you're going to sell things yourself, you're probably doing it on Facebook Marketplace. Facebook is a great tool to use in marketing your home for sale. And if you have a real estate agent that knows how to do this properly, you can get the word out to many more people than just on that Facebook site or that Facebook thing that your real estate agent has. Just placing the ad or placing your house saying, for sale, 123 Main Street, anywhere USA, brand new house, come here, take a look at it. It's here's the price. It'll get some looks, but you need to understand that your real estate agent should be able to understand how to market it, how to boost the post in the correct way to get it to the most people that are most likely to buy your home, not just hit the boost, put $20 on it or $10, and then it goes elsewhere, and who knows where it goes to. You got to know where it got. You got to tell Facebook where you want the ad to go. I don't know how many people really know how to do that. I certainly do. So that's why you have a leg up, and that's why my listings seem to get sold in less time than others at times. So I have seen real estate agents that have posted. Thank you, Gary. I have seen real estate agents who have boosted their post for a house that's for sale, and it's from Minnesota. Now, I'm going to tell you, probably very few of the people on my Facebook right now are looking to buy a house in Minnesota. Kelly, you might be one. I think that's where you're living, in Minnesota, or one of those M states. Hey, Joe, how are you? Janice and Gary and Carol, thanks for joining us today. So, your real estate professional needs to know how to market your home. If you want to talk to me more about it, you can just hit me up at any one of those things, or just send me a message right here on Facebook. That's what people do mostly on Facebook. So, marketing your home. You got to be there. You got to send the message out where more people are looking and more people are shopping. The more eyeballs on your listing, MLS, All the other ones, Zillow, Realtor.com, all that stuff, yeah, that all counts great. We all do that. But what's the little special things that some people can do to make it worthwhile? You might want to talk to somebody who knows what they're doing. I'm not saying people don't. I'm not casting stones or shadows or shades like I am today with my umbrella. So, anyway, 725-1446 if you want to know more about that. That's great. Hey, Faye, how are you? Thanks for joining us. Hey, Laura, thanks for joining us late. That's great. Everybody's waving at me. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. So, there you go. Next week, same bad time, same bad time channel, we'll talk more rock news. We're going to do some stuff on Tom Petty next week. We're also going to talk about for sale by owners, how-tos and how-don'ts on trying to sell your house by yourself without a real estate agent. You can guess probably where I'm going to lean heavy on, right? Yeah, okay. So we'll check you guys out next week. It's On Deck with Wally. It's about life, love, rock, and a little real estate action. And I'll throw some more tidbits in next week on some thoughts I have on some current events. I just didn't feel like we had time enough to do it today. So we'll talk next week. Got a question? Give me a comment or send me a message. You know how to reach me, all right?